Bonjour à tous, привет, konnichiwa. So welcome back again. My name is Jesse, and then in today's discussion, we're talking about the components of the universe, right? It's a series, and then as we learned previously, that the universe is made up of 5 different components. The first one is time, the second one is space, the next one is energy and matter, and then we have the last one as the mind or spirit or beings, right? So we'll be talking about the first component of time, which is called time. The first component of the universe, which is time. So the treasure called time. So all these components of the universe are treasure that God has given to us. They are like talents that God has given to us. So we'll be talking about the first one called time. So the treasure called time. So what is time? So if I ask this question, what is time? Or rather, what is the time? If I ask the question, what is the time? You just go straight away to check your phone, to check your watch, to check your laptop to see what the time currently is, right? So that means that the minute I say what is the time, you tend to check something. If I say it in French, that kaleleti, or if I say it in Russian, that skuka vremi or something, you just, or katoricha, you just check a device to see what the time is. So that means that it's a measure. So time is first of all a measure. So time is a measurable period. It is something that can be measured. So let's see what it means. So time is a measure in which we measure the actions or event or conditions, right? So it's a measure in which an action, event, or condition exists or continues. So there are two things. So it's a measure in which an action, let's say what you are doing from today to tomorrow, or event, let's say today is your birthday, and then an event is going to happen. Several events are going to happen. You're supposed to go to the shop, go to this place, wake up, eat, all those things. All these events or conditions exist and then continues. That is one definition of time. So time is a measure in which an action, event, or conditions exist and then continues. Again, time is a measure of durations, right? It's a measure of durations of events. So for example, from Sunday to Sunday is a duration, right? And then there's an interval between this Sunday and then last week Sunday. So time is a measure of durations of events and the intervals between them. So that is one aspect of time. So that is one definition of time. So time is a measure. So as time is a measure, it is actually what clocks measure. That's why when I ask you the question, what is the time? You just check your clock. So time is what clocks or watches, wristwatch or any kind of watch measure. It is what the moon and the sun measures. So time is what the clocks measure. Your clock is measuring time. And then it's what the sun and the moon measures. So that explains why if you go to a different planet, right? If you go to a different planet, the time for the day will be different. The time for Earth is for a single day is 24 hours. That is 23 hours, 56 minutes, and then 40 seconds. But we are running to 24 hours. If you go to Mars, it's a different game altogether. 1 year in the Earth is 365. If you go to Mars, it is twice that. You understand? So like time is what the sun and the moon measures. So the distance between the sun and the moon is what is used to measure the time for each and every of the planet. So time is what the clocks measure. Your clock is measuring. Time is what the sun and the moon measures. Okay, so in a nutshell, time is a continuum. It's a progression. It's the passing of seconds. So whether you use it or you don't use it, it's passing. Whether you do something or don't do something, whether it's passing. Whether you make an action or you do an event, it is passing. So it's a continuum. It's a progression. Just like this thing here, it is passing. Just like the sun. Whether you use it or you don't use it, it is still passing like that. So that is how time is. So all these components that God has given to us, they are available to us. Whether you use it or you don't use it, it is passing. God has made sure that this time is available to everybody. And then it is an inevitable progression. It's an inevitable passing of seconds. You can't stop it. You cannot time time. You cannot stop time. You cannot time time. Right? So that is time. So time is first of all a measure. Again, what is time? So time is a treasure. Time is not only a measure, but time is also a treasure. What do I mean by time being a treasure? First of all, time is an exchange material. With it, we exchange for everything in this world. Whatever you have now and whatever you want to be, you are supposed to exchange something for. And what you are going to exchange for is what is called time. You are going to exchange your time to go to medicine for all these 6 years to become what? A doctor. You're going to exchange your time for all these 4 years to become maybe a bank manager, become something. So time is first of all, it's a treasure and it's an exchange material. So it's just a treasure. So time is not only a measure, but time is a treasure. Time is what is used to package or what is used to buy greatness, what is used to buy whatever you want to become. So time again is used to trade for everything. So what is time? Time is used to trade for everything on this world. Whatever you want to trade for, you trade it with time. So you invest your time into something to get money, and then you use that money to buy something. So it's just exchange of time, just converting of time. You're just exchanging our time for something, right? So when you go to work, you are exchanging your time, and then after you have done something with that time, you are paid for something, and then you use that amount they have been paid to go and exchange for another thing. So time is an exchange material. It's a treasure. It's one of the greatest treasures that God has given to us. So time is what we use to trade for things, right? We trade. I give you my time. You give my time. I spend time. I earn time. Again, time again is one of the components of the universe, as I said earlier on, and it's one of the treasures that the whole universe is based on. It's one of the laws that governs the entire universe, which is very, very important. So you have to understand that time is first of all a measure, and then time is a treasure. Okay, so as time is a measure and is a treasure, it's having dimensions. So let's see the dimensions of time. The first dimension of time is that it's having two parts. You have the immutable part, because it's a treasure. You have an immutable part. It's a part of time that cannot be changed, right? Just like the treasure, there's a part of the treasure that cannot be changed. There's another part of the treasure that can be changed. The same way, time is a measure. You have an immutable part, and there's the part that you can't change it, and the part that you can change it, right? So the part that you can't change of time is what is called past, right? So time has three dimensions: past, present, and then future. Today, tomorrow, and then yesterday. So past is immutable. You cannot do anything about it. But the past is gone. You can't do anything about it. But the only thing you can do with time, with the past time, is to record it in your memory, so that you will learn lessons from it, or you record it in books, you record it in media, you record it in video, in pictures, and all those things, right? So that is the only thing you can do with the past time. You cannot change it, but you can only record it and then learn lessons from it. So whatever mistake you have made, or whatever thing you have done, whatever achievement you have done, it is past, it's gone. You cannot do anything on it. You can only learn lessons from it. You can only record it. You can only store it in a format that you can just learn from it. You can play it over and over. Again, time is the immutable part of time. Consists of two things: consists of the present, the current now, and then future. Have you ever wondered why they call it present? Because time is a present. It's a gift that God has given to you. What you do with it is your gift back to God, right? So it's like a present. That's why it is called present. So it's like present. It's like a gift that has been given to you. So that is the immutable part. That's what they're going to change. So you can change your present if you want to affect your future. You cannot change your past, but you can change your present, and you can change your future. Now, based on this aspect that you have learned, that time is a measure and that time is a treasure, and how you view time will determine what you are going to do with it. If you see time as only a measure, it is good. If you see time as a treasure, it's also very, very good. But how you view time determines what you're going to do with it. So let's see how people view time. So how do you perceive time? How do you and I perceive time? So there are two main views of time. First of all, there are people that view time as a linear view, right? They view time as a linear view. That is present, past, present, future in a line. They view time in the format of a line. And then because it's a format of a line, they try to schedule. They try to plan. They try to make sure that it is a schedule. They try to make sure that since it is a line, you are moving forward. You can't go backwards. You can only move forward inside it. So they plan, they prioritize, they organize, they schedule time. They make sure that they pursue actions. They pursue stuff. So people that view time as a linear, they make sure that the time is not wasted. To them, time is wasted if no action is performed. Time is wasted if no action is performed. So like if the time goes like that and they don't do anything tangible, they don't do any action, if they don't accomplish something, if they don't see a result, then time is wasted. To them, to people that view time as linear, they view time as a scarce commodity. It's a very scarce commodity. So in the world, right? In this world, we have several cultures, and several cultures have different views of time. Most people in the developed nations, very developed nations, like they view time as in a linear view, and because of that, they see time as a scarce. That's why they see time as money. So time is a scarce commodity if you view time as a linear view, or linear view of time. So for them, if for example, like where I am now, if you are going to class and then you miss the metro is said that it's having a specific time to go, right? It's a linear view of time, specific time, it's a schedule. Whether the metro is full or it's not full, once the time is up, it's going to leave you. It's not going to wait for you, right? Whether the metro is, whether you're the present or the, when the time is up, it's going to leave. So that is one aspect of perceiving time in that linear view, which is very, very good. It's having its advantage and its disadvantage. Again, another view of time is cyclic view of time. That is what most of us in our former state used to view time. In the olden days, most people used to view time in this aspect, cyclic view of time. So that aspect of time is whereby you see time as a cycle, like it moves in cycle. The sun comes and then it sets. There's day, there's morning, there's evening, like that. They see things as repetition of events, as a cycle. It comes up and down, it comes up and down. And because of that, they see time as an abundant commodity. People that view time linearly see time as scarce commodity. So they make sure that they don't waste time, make sure that they make the most of every time because it is scarce. But people that view time in a cyclic view see time as an abundant commodity. That means that it's a cycle. It repeats itself. It comes up and down. There is morning, there is evening, there is summer, winter. They see it as cycles. And the reason is that people that were viewing time or view time in this cyclic view usually base their view of time based on clocks or based on the sun and the moon, based on the natural phenomenon. So in the olden days, you check the moon and the sun. It comes. There are seasons, 4 seasons or 2 seasons. The sun and the moon. It rises and come like that. So because of that, their mindset was based on the sun, which is a very good. It's a very good thing. It's very good, but it's having its pros and cons. So how you perceive time determines how you value it. How you perceive time determines what you do with it. So it's very, very important that you know how to perceive time. It's very important that you take the right view of right approach of time. Either you're going to view time as linear or you're going to view time as cyclic. People that view time as cyclic, especially most people in less developed nations, right? They make sure that, for example, if the bus is going, right? For example, if you go to a bus station or a train station, the bus is not going to leave until the bus is full. If the bus is not full, the bus is not leaving. They are not basing their own on the time. They are basing it on the people, on the relationship, on the thing itself, on the event, not on the person of it. I hope you understand it. So that is the two main perception that people have about time. Two main views about people have about time. So remember that how you perceive time, either you perceive time as a treasure or as a measure. Then how you view it, either linearly or cyclically, will determine what you're going to do with it and the benefit you're going to produce from it. So let's see how God views time. That is how man views time. Let's see how God views time. So this verse says that, but beloved, be not ignorant of this one thing, that one day is with the Lord as 1,000 years, and 1,000 years as one day. This verse is so much important. It said, but beloved, be not ignorant of this one thing. Right? And most people are very ignorant. So most people are ignorant about how time is passing. That to God, one day is with the Lord as 1,000 years, and 1,000 years as one day. That means that God sees time, God values time so much. God values a single day so much that when he was creating the world, he used 6 days to create the world, the vast universe that we are living in. He used 6 days. Not that God sees a single day so valuable. It's not saying that one day is 1,000 years, but this is how God views time. God is viewing a day like you view 1,000 years. That means that God can do more within a day like you would have done in 1,000 years. For example, the miracle at the wedding of Cana, God compressed time. It takes about 10 to 25 years for a wine to be produced, right? Very sweet wine, nice wine. But in the wedding of Cana, Jesus Christ used a short time to create something that should take years to do. That is the power how God values time. So God values time so powerfully. That's how we're supposed to value time. We're supposed to value every day so powerful. So let's see how it is. So if one day is, as we know, every one day is 24 hours, right? Which is actually 23 hours, 56 minutes, and 4 seconds, 40 seconds. How the Earth rotates around the sun, rotates on its axis. So if one day is 24 hours, then that means that 1 year is 365 days, and then it's going to be 876 hours. So every day God gives you 24 hours to use. And then every year there is the amount of hours God has given to you. So if 1 day is 24 hours, that means that every 1 hour is 41.6 years. So anytime you waste 1 hour, you're wasting 41 years to God. Based on how God sees time. That's why you're not supposed to waste time at all. That explains why that within an hour, right, you can create a generation. Within an hour, you can create a generation. A generation is 25 years or 40 years. That is from birth to birth. So that means that even if 1 hour is 41 years, that means that 1 hour is like a generation. What am I talking about? Within an hour, you can create a baby. Can either create a baby because it takes how many minutes for intercourse? Very, very short minutes. And then how many hours does it take like 12 hours for fertilization to occur. Then like 45 minutes to 12 hours, still within a day for fertilization to occur. And then after that, to take some time, then the baby will come out. So that means that within an hour, you can create a solution or you can create a problem. Within an hour, you can create a solution or you can create a problem, which is very, very important. So God, that means that explains why in the 6 days when God was creating the world, every day God created a solution. Every day God made something. God did so much things in one day. So you should view time in such a way that every single day you are using it very well. You should view time linearly to the point that every time that time is passed, you make sure that you do something that is creating a solution to solve a problem, not adding to a problem. Again, you use time to help and then develop people. You use time to build relationships, which is very, very important because time will pass away. But one of the things that will still continue to stay is the people around you. They may change, they may grow, but you must keep on building relationships. You must keep on developing yourself, developing people, solving problems, creating products, building solutions. That is very, very important. And then you must invest in things that will outlast you and outlive you. That is how God sees time. God used one day to create the light, one day to create the sun and the moon, and then you see that that one day has lasted. That product he created in that one day is still benefiting the world for more than 6,000 years that we have been on this earth. So we should make sure that we invest in things. We use that hours, that day that God has given us, and the time God has given to us, to build things that are going to outlast us and outlive us, to benefit people continually, just like God did. So that is how God views time. God views time in such a way that every day is like 1,000 years. So He makes sure that He used that day, that 24 hours, so well that it's going to outlast, that is going to do things that are going to outlast and then outlive. It's going to build relations, develop people, continue to create solutions, going to be benefiting people continually. So that is the main idea about the treasure in time. So you have to treasure time so much and use it well to benefit others. Thank you, and then stay blessed.